Hello everyone, myself Dr. K. Ramlakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Faculty of Arts and Science, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. Course name is Complex Analysis. Course code is U18MCMA 602. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on the topic linear fractional transformations. First, we see a function of a complex variable as a mapping. A function of a complex variable w equal to f of z is usually viewed as a mapping from the complex z plane to the complex w plane. Look at the picture. Here the mapping from the complex z plane to the w plane. It is defined as w equal to f of z. Z equal to x plus iy. W equal to u plus I. For example, W equal to Z cube. Next, simple mappings translations. Translation is defined as W equal to A plus Z, where A is a complex constant. The mapping translates every point in the Z plane by the vector A. Next to rotations. W equal to e to the power I alpha Z equal to e to the power I alpha into r e to the power I theta equal to r e to the power I into alpha plus theta. Here, alpha is a real constant. The mapping rotates every point in the z plane through an angle alpha. Next, dilations. It means stretching. W equal to AZ equal to A into R e to the power I theta. We can write it as AR into e to the power I theta. Here A is a real constant. The mapping magnifies the magnitude modulus of Z of a point Z in the complex plane by a factor A. A general linear transformation is a combination of translation, rotation, and dilation. In linear transformation, W equal to A plus BZ equal to A plus modulus of B into e to the power I into argument of B into r e to the power I theta equal to A plus modulus of B r e to the power I into theta plus argument of B. See, here A represents the translation, Modulus of B represents dilation. Theta plus argument of B means rotation. Where A and B are complex constants. Here shapes do not change under a linear transformation. Next, inversion. The mapping is defined as W equal to 1 by Z. That is 1 by R e to the power I theta equal to 1 by R into e to the power minus I theta. The straight line Z equal to x naught plus iy maps to a circle. In inversion, circle preserving property. Points outside the unit circle map to points inside the unit circle and vice versa. Inversions have a circle preserving property. That is, circles always map to circles. Straight lines are circles of infinite radius. Next, circle property of inversion mapping. Already we know that inversion mapping is defined as W equal to 1 by Z. This maps circles into circles. Z equal to 1 by W. It implies x plus iy equal to 1 by u plus iv. It implies x equal to u by u square plus v square. Y equal to minus b by u square plus v square. Consider a circle. X minus x naught the whole square plus y minus y naught the whole square equal to a square. This is in the form x square plus y square plus a1x plus a2y plus a3 equal to 0. Hence, u by u square plus v square the whole square plus minus b by u square plus v square whole square plus a1 into u by u square plus v square plus a2 into minus v by u square plus v square plus a3 equal to 0. It implies u by u square plus v square the whole square plus minus v by u square plus v square the whole square plus a1 into u by u square plus v square plus a2 into minus v by u square plus v square plus a3 equal to 0. Next line we multiply by u square plus v square. Then we will get u square by u square plus v square plus v square by u square plus v square plus a1 into u plus a2 into minus v plus a3 into u square plus v square equal to 0. Or we can write it as 1 plus a1 into u plus a2 into minus v plus a3 into u square plus v square equal to 0. This is in the form of a circle. that is u minus u naught the whole square plus v minus v naught the whole square equal to b square. Next, geometrical construction of the inversion. W equal to 1 by z equal to 1 by r e to the power I theta equal to 1 by r into e to the power minus I theta. Here, shapes are not preserved. Next, a general bilinear transformation is a succession of translations, rotations, dilations, and inversions. Bilinear transformation. We can also call it as fractional transformation or Mobius transformation. W equal to A plus BZ by C plus DZ. Here, A, B, C, D are complex constants. Note that if D not equal to 0, W equal to A plus BZ by C plus DZ equal to A minus BC divided by D plus B by D into C plus DZ divided by C plus DZ equal to A minus BC divided by D by C plus DZ plus B by D. If we take f of z equal to C plus dz and g of zeta equal to 1 by zeta, then the Mobius transformation can be written as W equal to A plus BZ divided by C plus DZ equal to B by D plus A minus BC divided by D into G of f of z. This is a sequence of linear transformation, inversion, dilation, and rotation, translation. Since each transformation preserves circles, bilinear transformations also have the circle preserving property. Circles in the z-plane are mapped into circles in the w-plane. With straight lines thought of as circles of infinite radius. Next, mappings of analytic functions are conformal. Consider a pair of intersecting paths C1, C2 in the z-plane mapped onto the W equal to U plus IV plane. Here del W1 equal to F dash of Z0 into del Z1. It implies argument of del W1 equal to argument of F dash of Z0 plus argument of del Z1. Del Z1 along C1 from Z0. Next, similarly, del W2 equal to F dash of Z0 into del Z2. It implies argument of del W2 equal to argument of F dash of Z0 plus argument of del Z2. del z2 along C2 from Z0. It implies argument of del W2 minus argument of del W1 equal to argument of del Z2 minus argument of del Z1. This assumes that f dash is not 0. Hence, beta equal to gamma. So it indicates angle preserving. Next, exponential function. The complex exponential function is one of the most important analytic functions. E to the power z equal to e to the power x into cos y plus I sin y. If z equal to 3 plus 4i, then e to the power z equal to e to the power 3 into cos 4 plus I sin 4. So in the place of x we put 3, in the place of y we put 4. Hence we get e to the power z equal to e to the power 3 into cos 4 plus I sin 4. For real z equal to x, imaginary part y equal to 0. E to the power z equal to e to the power x into cos y plus I sin y. So if you put y equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. Hence we get e to the power z equal to e to the power x. So thus e to the power z is analytic for all z. The derivative of the exponential function is e to the power z whole dash equal to e to the power x cos y with respect to x plus I into e to the power x sin y with respect to x equal to e to the power x cos y plus I into e to the power x sin y. So if differentiating e to the power x with respect to x, we get e to the power x only. And finally we get equal to e to the power z. So e to the power z whole dash equal to e to the power z. So it means that derivative of the exponential function is the same as the exponential function. Next, general rule of the exponential functions. E to the power a into e to the power b equal to e to the power a plus b. E to the power z1 plus z2 equal to e to the power z1 into e to the power z2. E to the power z1 into e to the power z2 equal to e to the power x1 into cos y1 plus I sin 1. E to the power x2 into cos y2 plus I sin y2. E to the power z1 into e to the power z2 equal to e to the power x1 plus x2 into cos y1 plus y2 plus I into sin of y1 plus y2. It implies e to the power z1 plus z2. Hence, e to the power z1 into e to the power z2 equal to e to the power z1 plus z2. Hence, we prove. Since z equal to x plus iy, e to the power z equal to e to the power x plus iy equal to e to the power x into e to the power iy. For pure imaginary complex number where z equal to iy, e to the power iy equal to cos y plus I sin y by Euler formula. The polar form of a complex number z equal to r into cos theta plus I sin theta. It can be written as z equal to r e to the power I theta. Substitution of 2 pi, we get e to the power iy equal to cos y plus I sin y. Then in the place of y we put 2 pi. So e to the power 2 pi I equal to cos 2 pi plus I sin 2 pi. So sin 2 pi value is 0. Already we know that. Cos 2 pi value is 1. Hence e to the power 2 pi I equal to 1 only. Substitution of y equal to pi by 2, pi minus pi by 2 and minus pi, we get e to the power pi I by 2 equal to I. E to the power pi I equal to minus 1. E to the power minus pi I by 2 equal to minus I. E to the power minus pi I equal to minus 1. Already we know that e to the power iy equal to cos y plus I sin y. If we take magnitude, modulus of e to the power iy equal to modulus of cos y plus I sin y equal to square root of cos square y plus sin square y equal to 1. For pure imaginary exponent, the exponential function has absolute value of 1. Periodicity of e power x with period. E to the power z plus 2 pi I equal to e to the power z. E to the power z plus 2 pi I equal to e to the power z into e to the power 2i. So already we know that e to the power 2 pi I value is 1. It implies e to the power z plus 2 pi I equal to e to the power z. Let's see some examples. Suppose z equal to 1.4 minus 0.6i. E to the power 1.4 minus 0.6i equal to e to the power 1.4 into cos of minus 0.6 plus sine of minus 0.6. E to the power 1.4 minus 0.6i equal to e to the power 1.4 value is 4.055. Cos of minus 0.6 is 0.8253. Sine of minus 0.6 is minus 0.5646i. So after simplifying this, we get 3.347 minus 2.289. In the polar form, modulus of e to the power 1.4 minus 0.6i equal to e to the power 1.4 equal to 4.055. Argument of e to the power 1.4 minus 0.6i equal to minus 0.6. Next problem. E to the power z equal to 3 plus 4i. So taking modulus of e to the power z equal to square root of 3 square plus 4 square. Hence, modulus of e to the power z equal to 5 only. Modulus of e to the power z equal to modulus of e to the power x equal to 5. X equal to log 5 equal to 1.609. E to the power x cos y equal to 3. E to the power sin y equal to 4. Hence, y equal to 0.927. E to the power z equal to e to the power 1.609 plus 0.927 into I equal to e to the power 1.609 into cos 0.927 plus I into sine of 0.927. So finally we get z equal to 1.609 plus 0.927i plus or minus 2n pi I. It's obvious that many properties of exponential z are the same as the properties of exponential x, with an exception in the periodicity of exponential of z with 2 pi I. Next, come to logarithm. The natural logarithm of z equal to x plus iy is denoted by ln. Z or log z. Z equal to x plus iy equal to r e to the power I theta. So ln of z means log z equal to ln of x plus iy equal to ln of r e to the power I theta. Hence, ln of z equal to ln of r plus I theta. Log z equal to log r plus I theta, where r equal to modulus of z greater than 0, theta equal to argument of z. The complex natural logarithm is infinitely many valued. The value of log z corresponding to the principal value argument of z is denoted by ln of z, and it is called the principal value of ln of z. It is given by ln of z equal to ln of z plus I into argument of z. Ln of z equal to ln of z plus I into argument of z. Ln of z is a single value. Since the other values of argument of z differ by integer multiples of 2 pi. The other values of log z given by log z equal to log z plus or minus 2n pi. All the values of log z have the same real part, but their imaginary parts differ by integer multiples of 2 pi. If z is a positive real, then argument of z equal to 0. And log z becomes same as the real natural logarithm in calculus. But if it is a negative number, then argument of z equal to pi and ln of z equal to ln of modulus of z plus pi I. from log z equal to log r plus I theta, and e to the power log r equal to r. For positive real r, we get e to the power ln of z equal to z. Since argument of e to the power z equal to y plus or minus 2n pi is multi-valued, hence ln of e to the power z equal to z plus or minus 2n pi I. The familiar relations of natural logarithm are still applicable for complex value. Log z1 z2 equal to log z1 plus log z2. Next, log of z1 by z2 equal to log z1 minus log z2. Next, analyticity of the logarithm. For every n equal to 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, defines a function which is analytic except at 0 and on the negative real axis. Hence, it has the derivative log n of z whole dash equal to 1 by z. Z is not 0 or negative real. Next, general powers. The general power of a complex number z equal to x plus iy are defined by the formula e to the power z to the power c equal to e to the power c into log z, where c is complex and z not equal to 0. If c equal to 1 by n, then z to the power c equal to nth root of z equal to e to the power 1 by n log z. Next, definition for fractional linear transformation. For complex numbers a, b, c, d with ad minus bc not equal to 0, the function phi of z equal to az plus b divided by cz plus d, where z belongs to complex plane, is called a fractional linear transformation or a linear fractional transformation or a Mobius transformation. We observe that phi of infinity equal to limit of z approaches to infinity, phi of z equal to limit z tends to infinity, a plus b by z divided by c plus d by z equal to a by c. Hence, phi of infinity equal to infinity if and only if c equal to 0. Since pi is a composition of the functions z to a z, z to z plus b and z to 1 by z, we can infer that under pi the family of circles and straight lines in C are mapped onto the family of circles and straight lines. It can be easily seen that compositions of a finite number of fractional linear transformation is a fractional linear transformation. Next, definition for fixed point. A point z0 belongs to complex plane is said to be a fixed point of a function f from c tilde to c tilde if f of z0 equal to z0. Consider a fractional linear transformation phi is given by phi of z equal to az plus b by cz plus d. Z belongs to c tilde. We have already observed that phi of infinity equal to infinity if and only if c equal to 0. Hence, infinity is a fixed point of phi if and only if c equal to 0. Suppose c not equal to 0, then we have phi of z equal to z if and only if cz square plus d minus a into z minus b equal to 0. Next, results of linear fractional transformation. A fractional linear transformation which is not an identity function has either one or two fixed points. In particular, the identity function is the only fractional linear transformation having more than two distinct fixed points. Let's see some problems related to bilinear transformation. First problem, find the bilinear transformation which maps z equal to 1 comma I comma minus 1 into w equal to I comma 0 comma 1. So let's come to the solution. Here z1 equal to 1, z2 equal to I, z3 equal to minus 1. w1 equal to I, w2 equal to 0, w3 equal to 1. First write the cross ratio w minus w1 into w2 minus w3 divided by w minus w3 into w2 minus w1 equal to z minus z1 into z2 minus z3 divided by z minus z3 into z2 minus z1. Now we substitute all the z1, z2, z3, w1, w2, w3 values in this formula. Then we get w minus I divided by w minus 1 into 1 by I equal to minus of z minus 1 into 1 plus I divided by z plus 1 into 1 minus I. So in the previous line, we can interchange the term I and 1. I minus 1. So we can write it as minus of 1 minus I. So in next line, we simplify the term 1 plus I by 1 minus I, we get I. So we apply that value in this line, w minus I by w minus 1 into 1 by I equal to minus of z minus 1 by z plus 1 into I. W minus I by w minus 1 equal to minus of z minus 1 by z plus 1 into I square. So left hand side already we have 1I. So we take it over on the right hand side. It becomes I square. So w minus I by w minus 1 equal to z minus 1 by z plus 1. Since I square value is minus 1. W minus I by w minus 1 equal to z minus 1 by z plus 1. So next we apply the componendo and dividendo rule. Here w minus I plus w minus 1 divided by w minus I minus w minus 1 equal to z minus 1 plus z plus 1 divided by z minus 1 minus of z plus 1. So finally simplifying, we get 2w minus 1 minus I divided by 1 minus I equal to 2z by minus 2. So it implies 2w minus 1 minus I equal to minus of z into 1 minus I. So it implies 2w equal to minus of z into 1 minus I plus 1 plus I. Hence we get w equal to minus z into 1 minus I plus 1 plus I divided by 2. This is the final answer. Next problem. Here z1 equal to 1, z2 equal to I, z3 equal to minus 1. But in w plane values, w3 value is infinity. First we write the cross ratio formula. After that we substituting every values except w3. limit W3 approaches to infinity, W minus 0, 1 minus W3 divided by W minus 3 into 1 minus 0 equal to Z minus 1 into I plus 1 divided by Z plus 1 into I minus 1. So next line we take it the W3 common outside. Then we get limit W3 approaches to infinity, W into W3 into 1 by W3 minus 1 divided by W3 into W minus W3 minus 1 equal to minus of Z minus 1 into 1 plus I divided by Z plus 1 into 1 minus I. So W3 numerator and denominator cancelling. This implies W into 0 minus 1 divided by 0 minus 1 equal to minus of Z minus 1 by Z plus 1 into I. So we are applying W3 tends to infinity, we get 0 value. Already we know that in previous problem 1 plus I by 1 minus I, we simplifying, we get I value only. So we get W equal to minus of IZ minus I divided by Z plus 1. It implies W equal to I minus IZ by Z plus 1. Thank you.